Yeah, thanks, Paul. Thanks, everyone, for being here this morning. Players of the week for the Ohio State game. Rashawn Slater offensively. We thought Rashawn played outstanding. He had a difficult matchup all night and had double-digit wins in that matchup, and I thought he played maybe one of the best games of his career. Big playmaker was Isaiah Bowser. Been battling injuries all year to come back. It's great to have him back. We're going to need him here in the back half of the season, and the way in which he played, but more importantly, how hard he's worked to get back. We're really proud of him. Joe Gaziano was very active defensively, and he was our player of the week. Blake Gallagher was our big playmaker, was really consistent. Joe Bergen in the kick game was great, and player of the week again. Our entire offensive scout team was outstanding last week, and we talked to them about being our players of the week. From a practice standpoint, we appreciate them. Tommy out of Aware, did I say that right? Out of Aware. I made about 8 guys try to say that today in the team meeting. It didn't work out, but Tommy did a great job for our defense and Jack Kennedy in the kick game. Always it's fun to have great teams come back and be a part of special weekends. And this year or this week we've got the '09 team coming back. The 2010 Outback Bowl team will be having their reunion this weekend. And with that, Brendan Smith will be our honorary captain. And it's great to have Smitty back, two-time captain for us in '08 and '09. He's honorable mention All Big Ten in '08. Finished his career, I think, tied 10th with 7 interceptions. Was a great player for us, a ball hawk for us, and a great leader and a great teammate. And we'll be excited to have him back to be our honorary captain and have those guys around on Friday and celebrate them Friday night and be with us on Saturday as we take on another outstanding opponent in the Iowa Hawkeyes. Coach Ferentz, obviously the dean of our coaching staff in the Big Ten and the longest tenured head coach in the country. The level of consistency, physicality, execution, success, Coach Ferentz and his staff are the benchmark. They've got great players and going to be a huge challenge for us. So with that, how about some questions, please?
Coach Trey Williams didn't start on Friday, but he did play in the second half. What was sort of decision making behind getting him some reps? Sort of, it seemed like when the game was out of hand.
Oh, we're just trying to get him back on the field. So working through injury. So hopefully getting him back here sooner than later.
If the game was close, would he have played, or that sort of it didn't really matter? It was just sort of getting him reps.
I don't think Trey played at all. Did he Saturday?
Yeah, in both the notebooks it says
Yeah.
he played, and I saw him for a few sessions in the second half.
Sure. I mean, if he did, he played just a little bit just to get him back out there. But we expect him to get back going and being more full. He's close to being back full.
This game last year, obviously, it was a little bit later in the year, but it was maybe the defining moment of last year's season. This win against Iowa. What's the mood around the team, knowing kind of what this game meant to your guys last year, especially now that the rivalry's kind of been a little bit more heated, a little bit more close in recent years?
Yeah, I mean, I think our guys are really focused on what we need to do to be a team that can go out to compete to win. We've got a ton of respect for the Hawkeyes, so we know what and how they're going to play. I mean, they're outstanding. So we'll make that as a constant. For us, though, I talked to the guys this morning, kind of halfway through the season, looking at exactly where we're at and why we're at where we're at, and talking about the things we talk about, keys to victory, and areas that we're not doing the things that winners do. And one big area collectively as a team, obviously, is the turnover ratio, and that's something that we've been really good at here. It's been typically something that has been, one of the hallmarks on why we have success, and obviously we're on the wrong end of that in a major way, and that's got to get fixed, and that's taking care of the ball and then taking the ball away. We're 0 for the last 2 weeks. As a defense, it's something that we stress daily and work daily, and we're not going to stop doing that. It's critically important that that gets flipped around in the back half of the season. And then use a little analogy, when things aren't going great, and it's, obviously a technology world that we all live in, there's 3 magic buttons to getting things fixed, but they all have to be pressed at the same time. And that's Control, Alt, and Delete. You know what that does, Louis, to your computer? What does it do? It restarts it. That's what we talked about this morning, about restarting. So if you just hit one, like so some of the coaches type like this, one at a time, it doesn't work. All three have to be hit at the same time. Like kind of offense and defense and special teams. That's pretty creative. That might be the best T-shirt I've ever come up with. So hopefully we hit them all at the same time this week and we prepare. And then we mature and figure out that just because you prepare doesn't mean you're going to win. You have to go out and compete and make it happen on Saturdays, and we're just not getting that at a consistent level right now. So that's what we're hoping to do this week in our preparation, and then get ready to go play a great team on Saturday and compete.
I like the metaphor. So I want to talk about.
I feel better now knowing that. That is awesome.
So I want to talk about one of those buttons, offense, particularly the passing game continues to struggle. But have you seen any improvement, any strides in recent weeks that gives you optimism that you might be able to turn things around?
Yeah, I mean, 2 weeks ago, or I guess it's 3 weeks ago now, in the bye against Nebraska, I saw some improvement. Absolutely. I thought we were throwing it on time. I thought we were catching the ball pretty well. We made some good plays. And on Saturday, we had some inopportune drops. We had some. I thought our O-line protection was outstanding, and I thought our protection plan was great. I mean, had a party in everybody else's backfield against everybody else that he played against, and we had a one-man, got beaten. That happens, but we should have gotten the ball out of our hands. It was a 3-step play, the second play of the game, and we didn't. But outside of that, I thought our protection plan was really good. In the O-line, we had some issues at some other positions that led to a little bit of push on some plays that I think our timing would have been better if we didn't have that. And then we had some inopportune drops, and we missed the one throw, and we had JJ open. So, we've got a lot of room for improvement there. And, I know that those guys are working hard. I mean, our receivers are really frustrated. We're not getting them the ball. I would be too if I were them. But they've got to use that frustration as motivation. Our quarterbacks have got to get it out of their hands when we've got some things that are there for them. And then there's times when, we were covered Saturday. I mean, they're really good. They've got all 5 of those DBs that are on the field for them. And then the 5 guys they put in after they went out, all 10 will be drafted. And they played really well, and they played clean, and you just tip your hat. I mean, that group in Columbus has played clean in every game, and that's a great credit to them. That's why, if I had a ballot, I'd vote them number 1 in the country right now. Nobody's playing cleaner. I watched some other teams play this weekend. They're the best team in the country right now, and they're playing that way too. They're coached that way. They're playing that way. They're executing that way. And obviously they're incredibly talented and deep. So I'm not going to overanalyze the last game, but I thought 2 games ago, we were hitting a pretty positive stride.
Coach, I know you guys, you just said you're going to have to hit the reset button a little bit, but how will, the fact that Iowa is your next opponent, help with that? You guys always seem to really get up and play well against them. And I think you guys really consider them one of your main rivals.
It doesn't make it any easier. Another top 20 ranked team in the country with one of the best defenses in the country, a team that has battled through a bunch of injuries. As you've seen some of their guys have to step up on tape has been really impressive to look at their depth. They've got a senior quarterback who's won a ton of games there, very veteran group of old linemen. It's an outstanding football team. So, I wish I had time right now with this year's team for me to look a lot at what our opponent is. We don't have that right now. We don't have that luxury. We're trying to get our guys to trust what we're doing during the week and execute fundamentally first, and then conceptually second, especially on offense right now. And we got half the season left, and we're going to work relentlessly to get it done in a positive fashion.
The 2019 coming back, what do you remember most about the game that they played in Iowa City when they beat an Iowa team that had been undefeated?
I haven't even put a lot of thought into that, except that we won that game, right? Yeah, that's a heck of a win. They were really good. My youngest son is named after Brendan Smith. We had a bunch of names on the list. If we had a boy, not that Stacy and I were biased, but we were kind of hoping for a third boy. So we had a little longer boys list than girls list. And so, Brendan gets that interception against Minnesota for a touchdown. And after I got home after the game, Jack and Ryan said to me, we need to name him Smitty. So I said, we can't name him Smitty, guys. That doesn't really go well. How about Brendan if we have a boy? They said, okay, Brendan will be good. So, a little bundle of joy comes out, and I look at Stace and I said, what do you think? She goes, he's a Brendan. So I don't know if Smitty knows that or not, but my little guy's named after him. So that's kind of cool. So I remember that. Yeah, I remember that. I try to erase my memories from Kinnick, man. That's a tough place to play. Win or lose, man, that's a great place to play, but an incredibly challenging place to play. Great fans.
Fitz, you just said that you're trying to get our guys. We're trying to get our guys to trust what we're doing. Why is that an issue?
Isn't that the magical question? But that's why I'm hitting 3 buttons today. Control, Alt, and Delete. I think it has to do with a lot of things. I think number one, inexperience. You chicken and egg, man, right? Which comes first, experience or confidence? Which comes first? I don't know. You asked me a deep thought. I'm asking you a deep thought. I mean, I don't know, man. If I knew, I'd fix it right now. I think our O-line is playing really well. I really do. I think they're playing really well. I think they're playing at a level that can help us win. I think our QBR speaks for itself. It's hard to be in the 30s and win a lot of games, even on Madden. I'd rather have the college game. That was cool. I was 99. You guys ever play that game? The college football game? You guys are too young, aren't you? We eliminated that game. I was a freak show on that game, 99. I wish I could be back on that. So it's where we're at, man. Got to play cleaner there. We got to take care of the ball and throw guys that are open and make shots when they're open. And we got to play a little bit beyond our experience in that area. It's great to have Isaiah back. It's huge. It's huge for our football team. It's huge for our offense. And the receivers got to make some plays, and our super backs have got to grow up. So, we got a lot of work to do. To me, that's the why. Turning the ball over, not being efficient at quarterback. It's typically why right now. To name a few.
Now that you had another Saturday off again, Coach, what games did you enjoy watching on Saturday?
Yeah, I enjoyed the Loyola Academy sophomore game first thing in the morning. That was fun. Went and saw my son Jack play. It's pretty cool. Those guys are doing great. They play for the conference championship here this Saturday. So I hope to see him after the Cats win and he wins. That'd be kind of cool. That was my favorite. You asked me my favorite game. That was my favorite game. Serve burritos in the morning. These guys were just getting back from going out drinking all night. I was up at 6 in the morning serving burritos to the guys with Stace. It was great. So that was fun. College football wise, I didn't enjoy any of that. I wish I was still playing, But you ever seen Tommy Boy? Yes. Yeah, like a mark, like not here. Do I have a mark like right? That was Friday night. So there wasn't a whole lot of enjoyment watching college football on Saturday. But I was happy to watch a lot of other people screw it up too. Man, there's a lot of negativity spewed out there too. Gosh, you just got negative in a hurry. Why did he do that? What was he thinking? I can only imagine the fun people are having with me this year. I'm having more fun than you are, though. And we're going to get this thing turned around. 3 buttons, baby. 3 buttons. Loyola Academy, that was my favorite day. Come on, what other earth-shattering questions you guys have for me? Come on, Skip. Yeah.
Again, I mean, you said after the game, guys are pressing. They're trying to do too much.
Exactly.
Okay, and you've been saying that from the beginning of the season. And you've also said that it's the middle of the season, so they're not freshmen anymore. So why are they still doing it?
That's the same question I'm asking them. I'll leave. The guys will be here. Why don't you ask them? Who's up there? I can't see. Oh, nobody's here. Oh, they quit. All right. It's just me. I agree. I totally agree. Well, first of all, especially offensively, we've played some pretty freaking good defenses now. That's not an excuse. That's a reality. And we've done some really good things, and we've turned the ball over. And we're not playing and coaching at an all Big Ten level on that side of the ball, right? Name one guy. Rashawn Slater probably is playing at an all Big Ten level. Yeah, he is too. I would agree. That's 2. We play with 11. 12 and you include the coaches. So we got 10 that aren't. So we got to be better. That's what we're working on. I mean, there's no it's not here. We got to work at it and practice. We got to get better at it. They got to take the practice stuff to the games. We got guys doing things in games. I look at the tape and I go, what the are you doing? And they're panicking because they're getting into a situation where they're worrying about, I don't know what. That's what I'm paying their coaches to do. Find out what the heck is in their mind and why they just can't trust themselves and go play. That's why we hit that board. Right now we got some guys that aren't doing that. I mean, we got some penalties in the kick game, one in particular by a veteran guy that just makes no sense to me. I don't understand why guys are doing some things. That's what I say when guys are trying to do too much. He's trying to block a guy to get a big play. All the last 3 weeks we've talked about you're behind, you're what's called a suspect. Everybody in the building puts their eyes on you. Something we coach all the time. Turn around and guess what? Go find work and block somebody else. We didn't do it on that play. Why'd you do that? I don't know, coach. That's a problem. Don't do that. There's no magical coachism. Just don't do that. Don't do that again. And again, that's a guy who's played his butt off, who's been awesome. So in that moment, he made a mistake. So I'm not going to be negative. I'm just going to coach the heck out of him until the sand runs out of the hourglass with this group. That's what they're going to get from us. So
You're like as frustrated as the people who are watching.
I'm just, as Walk said, I'm just Chuckles the clown. I'm just having the time of my life. Yeah, no. Yeah, there's guys who are doing things like I just don't get it. And usually when there's, some semblance of guys that are competitive depth, I can pull a guy and put a guy in. Kick game is kind of easy right now. Offensively, we've got some injuries in some areas, and we've had some issues personnel-wise in a position in particular where we're rolling with what we got because everybody else, quite frankly, isn't ready to go out in the arena, and that's what we're rolling with, and we just got to coach them better and just get them to be more consistent and trust the fundamentals and the technique and execute the play, but most importantly, trust themselves. Most important than anything, because when guys aren't taking it to the game, and God forbid if we ever fall into the curse and the trap of society now. I worked really, really hard. I deserve it. Give me a sticker. Good, smiley face sticker. Teachers put like 2 dashes, dash, and a smiley. Worst thing we could have ever done for our society. That's not the way it is. You prepare relentlessly all week, then you got to go make it happen on Saturday. And so I don't know if you've seen me on Saturday. This is, I can't be demonstrative because I'm still coaching all the way till the end of the game. Till the end of the game with some of these guys, and I think they really care, and I think for some of them, they're just really frustrated, and they got to use that as motivation.
Walk always use the analogy if you had a 2x4 and had it on the ground. It's easy to walk across a 2x4, but you put it 10 feet in the air. It's hard to do that.
Amen.
Is that fair enough analogy of what's going on with the team now?
That's why we have that board, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. That could be one angle. I like that angle. That's cool. I do believe that, but, I think so. But, yep.
It's easy to hit the practice golf swing. It's harder to hit it on the course.
I stink at golf, so I don't really care. Yeah. I'm the number 1 rated 19th hole player in the country. You know that, Mr. Cat. You and I. Have we ever had a bad golf round? We've played bad golf, but have you and I ever had a bad round together? Always had fun. Always had fun. What else?
Kyrick, you used him the backfield as a running back as well as at wide receiver against Ohio State. How important is it to sort of get a guy like him involved in the game in different ways than usual?
Just trying to get him as many touches as we can. You can see he's an explosive guy. Just trying to find creative ways to get him involved in the game. And, Kyrick not only played great on offense, he also played great in the kicking game, had a big punt tackle when we were backed up. Again, a guy that can handle it mentally too, which is a credit to him. And he's from a great high school program and a great family. I think he's playing at a really high level. He might be another guy as the season goes on. He's not going to have the stats to be all Big Ten, right? Riley too, he's made some really big plays. But Kyrick and Riley have been playing really, really well all year, and especially Kyrick last game. I thought he played great. Really proud of him.
5 guys got drafted into the XFL last week. Have you been in contact with them? How do you think that represents the program?
I did not know that. Can you tell me the 5?
Yes.
I'm embarrassed that I didn't know it, but I've got 99 problems and XFL isn't one. So, but go ahead.
Flynn Nagel got drafted by Dallas.
Awesome.
Hunter Nicewander got drafted by DC.
Hunter the punter. Yeah, punting in the nation's capital. That's great.
Tommy Doles is in New York now.
Oh, great.
And then Kyle Cairo and Jordan Thompson both got drafted by Seattle.
Oh, that's awesome. It's terrific. I'm incredibly happy for those guys. Just to continue to be an opportunity to be a pro and continue to play is awesome. I wish there was, back when I was playing, what was it, NFL Europe, and you had an opportunity to go and develop and still be in the kind of system, so to speak, of the NFL. Obviously, Canada's a great option, too, if that's something you choose that you want to do, but most guys have that NFL dream or bust. And, to see that there's other opportunities for guys to continue to play, if you go show up and show out, you got a chance to get into a camp, the following year. How many guys from the spring league made it on the made an NFL roster? Does anybody know? I don't know that answer. Well, yeah, I don't know the number, but I'm assuming that there were a handful. So that's awesome for those guys if they want to continue to play. But for our 5 guys, I'm ecstatic. So I appreciate the heads up. I'll probably text those guys today. It's great. It's terrific. It's awesome.
Getting back to coaching and trying to get this team to see the light or improve. You've talked in the past about planning your size 12 in the back sides, and you made practices tougher after slow starts
Sure.
and stuff like that. How do you as a coach know when to use the carrot or the stick, right?
Yeah.
When are you going to use the size 12 and when do you use the arm around the shoulder? And
Yeah.
where are you with these guys?
Yeah, I mean, I would say that it really depends on the DNA of some guys in particular. Some guys I think first and foremost, you've always got to be positive, and you got to look at from the ground up, right? When it comes to fundamental and technique, you got to look at how they're, what they're doing with their feet, what they're doing with their fundamentals. That's quarterback to kicker to everybody, right? And then, obviously, how are they playing from an attitude standpoint? Are they playing the game the right way? Are they playing with bent knees and their feet apart and great hands and seeing the ball through to the tuck? All the fundamental that you're going to start there after being able to analyze whether or not the guys truly know what we're doing at click of the finger, snap of the finger mindset. And right now, it just seems like for some of our guys that have been inconsistent, the ability to not think per se and just go play looks to be a little bit of a detriment. So time on task, practice, continuing to quiz and test and put them in those situations in practice. Because game day is an amazing exposure. It'll expose you from a standpoint of whether or not you know the exact reasons why you're doing things. And it was something I talked to the Leadership Council about. We've got some young guys that are getting some reps for the first time, and you see some of those guys really improving. And, so that's encouraging. But some of our veterans have got to play with some of their experience too. So how do I look at it? I just look at the DNA of the team. Some teams you can push a little bit harder. Other teams are like when that lamp gets delivered in Christmas Story, Fragile, and so you just got to know the squad, and you got to get a great sense of that group. I'd say we're somewhere in between right now. I think we've got some guys that from a standpoint of their confidence are a little fragile, and we've spent a lot of time just really working hard on the ABCs and the 1, 2, 3s and why we do it and how they need to do it. And when they don't do it, just kind of like this. And the number one determining factor when I don't feel like the team is where it needs to be the other way around is the effort level that they're playing with. And there hasn't been a lot of times that I've had to, use the stick, so to speak, as you said, because I haven't questioned the effort level of this group. They were relentless in their preparation in the off season. They're working hard during the week of practice, but I just hope they're not falling into that mousetrap that, well, I've worked hard. I should win. I should have success. That's not the way it works. That's not life. That's not football. You got to go compete and you got to go make it happen. And in our world against somebody else who's prepared just as hard as you have, that wants the same thing you want, which is, so you just got to focus on that process and the mental mindset that it takes to be successful and consistent in that process. So it's kind of where we're at right now.
Anything else for Coach?
Yeah, go ahead. I'm all ears. I can hear you.
Last week, a video of you in a Barstool video about cell phones came out, and you were in it. How did that come about, and what did you think of the final product?
I got asked to do it. I said yes, so that's how it came about. I didn't see the finished product. I don't do anything on social media visually for myself during the season. It's kind of something I've evolved to over my years. So I don't know. What did you think? I didn't see it, so I'm being serious. I didn't see it. So did you like it or no?
Not really.
Okay, good. I respect your opinion. Anybody like it? Take it up with those guys. It was their idea. So the guys, our players told me I was funny.
You were.
Oh, all right. All right. I feel good about my second career. Yeah, no, I think this. It's for me in my role. It's truly a blessing to be in it, and I'm very fortunate. I'm very thankful for it, and I want to enjoy every day with every group of guys that I get to coach for the rest of my career. I made a commitment to that about a decade ago, because there's good and bad, there's ebb and flow, there's highs and lows, there's awesome wins, and there's challenging seasons. And I remember vividly. We just kind of got through the having kid kind of phase of our life, which you guys don't know anything about yet. And I looked at Stace and I'm like, I need to have more fun with the guys. I need to appreciate and respect this role better and more. And I didn't even know I'm embarrassed to say this, I didn't even know what Barstool was. And some of the guys told me that they followed these guys and they thought it was JB, right? He was the biggest guy. So JB was like, you got to see this, you got to see that. I'm like, these guys are out of control. And then all of a sudden they interviewed me once, right? These guys were funny. So they asked me to do it again. So I'm disappointed he didn't like it, but I'm glad I did a good job. Did you like it?
I follow Barstool, actually.
Did you like it?
I didn't see it.
Yeah, I didn't either. Is that it?
That's it. Thanks, Coach.
You guys are wonderful. Have a great homecoming week, all right? Go Cats. I always do.